I've said 1,000 times in the last 35 years now that America does not want black people to take over this country. I've said over and over and over again. It wasn't this way when I was growing up. The blacks were not this way. In the good old days, blacks can run America and be just fine. But for the last 70 years, blacks, and not all, but most do not have the ability, the know-how, the love, the insight to run America. And I said that if you let them take over, in 10 days, America will become a ghetto. An absolutely ghetto. And I want you to know, I'm not making this up. Pay attention, you'll see it for yourself. Black people only destroy even the things that are already done, the good things. You let them in, they're going to destroy it. They're not going to add to it to make it better. They're not going to come up with new ideas to make life better in America. They only know destruction. They have no relationship with good. And I got more proof. I have more proof. You have seen the blacks, some live with white too because they're crazy, but you've seen the black supported lawbreakers. That's what they do in their own communities. They support gang members. They encourage it. But they support lawbreakers. They do not, if anyone try to make America better, especially, they're going to go against you. They will not support you in that. Blacks in black families and stuff like that, those blacks that wake up and they like, no, I ain't with the race stuff, and blah, blah, blah. You automatically become an enemy in your own black family. Y'all didn't listen, and now the blacks are quickly building Africa in America. And may God have mercy on the whites. Really? They can't help it. In their minds, they think they're doing the right thing. They think destruction is right. Really? They think supporting evil is good because that's all they know. That's all they know. And you put them in charge of a Christian country that was founded and created by white men. And with the help of God, they created the greatest country on this side of heaven. And you're so afraid you just handed it over to evil people. Fox News just reported Democratic lawmakers and protesters on Friday stormed the gates of Delaney Hall Detention Center, a secure immigration facility in Newark, New Jersey, to advocate for detainees. Homeland Security. This is a rewrite. To advocate for Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tracy McLaughlin, categorized as murders, terrorists, child rapists, and MS-13 gang members. So what it is, in this detention center in New Jersey, you have all the worst of the worst people there. Rapists, murderers, illegal aliens, right? So that they can be detained. The blacks are fighting to get these people out. They don't want harmony. They don't want that. They want destruction because that's all they know. Here are the lawmakers accusing federal agency of escalating the situation. Watch this.
Hey, Kevin, great to be with you. So those three House Democrats from New Jersey are now responding to the Fed's warning that they, too, could be arrested over that confrontation between them and federal agents at the ICE detention facility in Newark, New Jersey on Friday. The lawmakers say federal law enforcement escalated the situation.
Nothing happened other than the chaos that they created themselves. If anything, we were pushed and shoved and found in a very vulnerable situation.
I think there was a lot of opportunities for DHS, for ICE to de-escalate the situation. They chose not to.
They created that confrontation. They created that chaos.
Amazing, huh? These people created chaos by going there to break the illegals out of jail. And they said ICE created it. Doesn't even make sense. You had not showed up, there would not have been a situation. The DHS claimed that body cam footage captured lawmakers shoving and elbowing federal agency. Watch this.
But DHS has been pointing to this body camera footage, saying it shows those lawmakers shoving and elbowing the federal agents. Take a look.
Look at the black lawmakers. These are lawmakers.
After that confrontation, the three House Democrats were ultimately allowed to tour the ICE facility for what they said was a congressional oversight visit. Mayor Baraka was not allowed to join, and that's when he was arrested. Interim U.S. Attorney Alina Habba said Baraka ignored repeated warnings to leave. Today, those House Democratic lawmakers also spoke up in defense of the mayor, saying he was on public property and never should have been taken into custody.
These are black people you voted in to run America, and therefore evil. Therefore, that's all they know to do, people. Amazing. So I just want to play this last soundbite from these black lawmakers, quote unquote. I'm doing a quote unquote sign. They're always on the side of destruction and not good. They're on the side of destruction in their own personal lives, their family lives. They're on the side of destruction with God. They're on the side of destruction with this country. And you vote them in and you destroy your country. And white people, they're going after you this year because they're like evil, like 90 going north. We have more proof of that. So they had this detention center there in New Jersey where they're holding the illegal aliens there to deport them back to their country. And these black lawmakers went over there and tried to break into the detention center to let the illegal aliens out. Because you're not supposed to make America great. You're supposed to make it even worse. They don't know how to make it better. It's not in their nature. They just don't know. They only know evil. Here's the New Jersey Democrat mayor, Rosa Baraka, discussing the detention center last week.
Ras Baraka was there and, quote, committed trespass. Here he is talking about the facility earlier in the week.
We know what ICE has done in the past. We've seen them. We know how they operate. We know that they have picked people up who have not broken any laws. We know they've deported people and refused to bring them back.
That it? No. But so they have made ICE the problem and not the illegal aliens. Think about that. And you wonder why the black community is always messed up. And you wonder why white people leave when the blacks move in. Do you understand now? I remember when they hired Barack Obama, the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama and Big Mama Michelle. I said, don't vote these people in. They're going to make America worse. They will turn it into a hellhole. And lo and behold, y'all voted for him, and look what you got, because you thought that, oh, we voted in a black man, black people going to see that we're not against them. And look what happened. America has just gotten worse. It was already on the downfall because the blacks were blaming the white people. Blaming the white people. And now you voted them in. You have Jasmine Cricket and men like this. White American, I just don't, well, whatever. Here is that soundbite of where this black so-called representative was complaining how they locked her up or they did this to her, they did that to her. And she said, and I'm a black woman. Like you're not supposed to touch a black woman. You're supposed to let black women just continue to be out of control. And believe you me, black women are out of control, except for those who are working on them. They have finally admitted, because they knew something was wrong, they admitted, you know what? The problem is in me. I'm evil. I'm wrong. And they've gone and forgiven, and they're working on themselves, but these people are not doing that. And you turn America over to them. Isn't that amazing? I don't know what it's going to take. But if you need proof, I don't know why white people and other people need any more proof of the destruction of black people. Even in government, the ones in government, police departments and places, they're worse than the regular blacks. Because they think they are the power and authority now to be crazy. I want you to watch this black woman, what's her name? This so-called representative saying that they did this to me, and they did this to me, and they did this to me. And I'm black. They did it to a black woman. Watch this from Fox News.
As soon as we got here, we were met with opposition. People were telling us that they're getting a supervisor, that they're going to get someone to come talk with us. We waited and waited. Finally, we went past the gate, and then we had to wait longer. We actually waited over 2 hours to get into this facility just to do a simple oversight visit. They say nothing is wrong with the prison, with this detention center, that we can get in here, that everything, they're following orders. But once again, they delayed us from getting in here to see this facility. We waited in the waiting area for a very long time, talked to many staff members, talked to the warden of this location, and literally still waiting for ICE officials to get here. What all of you watch occurred is just how reckless ICE is. It is unacceptable that me, as a member of Congress, as a black woman here in this city, was just assaulted by multiple ICE officers while regional directors of ICE watched it happen. Since we toured the whole facility with them, no one offered an apology or said anything to me about what occurred out here. Not only was I assaulted, but Congressman Bonnie Watson was assaulted, and of course Congressman Rob Menendez was roughed up as he was trying to protect us.
As a black woman, they should lock her up and throw the keys away because she's a black woman. And she's supposed to be in government.
That was LaMonica McIver, Democrat out of New Jersey.
They should lock her up for a lifetime and never let her out. This woman is supposed to be a representative. She is supporting the enemies of America. Think about that. She cannot help it. She does not know good. She only knows destruction. May God have mercy on my country. It's gone. And you could, and you, more and more of these people are getting in government, police departments, city councils, and all that. It's only going to get worse. I would suggest you overcome fear and be of love so you can be protected. This is only going to get worse because, especially with these black women, they are crazy and they are out of control. They're literally out of control. They are not being corrected by their fathers, their brothers, their boyfriends, their husbands, if they have a husband. And the white man has not corrected them. I'm a black woman. And what is that supposed to mean? You're an evil black woman. Oh, more mess. 888-7753-773. Let me go back to first-time caller Larry out of Detroit, Michigan. Larry, welcome. Thanks for, go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? I've been listening to your shows, man. But you got a habit of talking about blacks, man, putting them down, and I don't like that too much.
I put them down how? What do you mean? Give me an example.
Yeah, you talking about affirmative action, like then you say they dumb and they stupid, somewhat. That affirmative action is for that blacks was banned. They couldn't get in college, man, because, hey...
They couldn't get into what? You said they couldn't get into what?
College.
Into college?
Yeah.
Meaning that they couldn't get into what college?
Like most big college universities and stuff.
Like what, for an example?
It could be any college. Could be the University of Michigan or something like that.
They couldn't get into the University of Michigan?
Yeah, that's why they would put affirmative action, help them get into college.
Which is better for them, when they were building their own colleges and educating themselves, or when they start begging the white man to let them into their school?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. It would be better if, like Tuskegee, Alabama, blacks build their college back down south. Yeah. But
so which one is better for the blacks? If someone say, I don't want you in my house, for the blacks to say, okay, well, you have a right not to want me in your house, I'll build my own house. Which is better for the blacks? To force someone to let them in their home, or to build their own home?
Well, to build their own home, right? Yeah, that's true, though.
Is it wrong for someone not to want you in their home?
No, it's not nothing wrong with that. No.
So then why do you disagree with me that affirmative action was not good for the blacks?
It's good because it gets you in certain college, universities.
No, but if you built your own college, why would you need to get into someone else's college?
Well, black people don't have that type of money and stuff.
They had it before. They were doing that before. They had black university everywhere. When white man would not let them in, they were building their own university, and they were good universities. But when the civil rights movement started and they told black people, your schools are not good enough, follow us, and they let their schools fall apart, and now they're into white schools and they don't even know what they're doing. So which is better for them, to have continued to build their own university, or make the white man let them in?
It don't matter as long as you're going to school, right? They don't make no difference.
Which one is best, though? To build your own, or make someone else let you in?
Can I ask you this? Did you go to a white college?
Answer that first, and then I'll respond.
Okay. No, to build your own college and stuff, yeah.
And no, I went to a junior college for 1 year, but I went there just to have fun. What's wrong with the blacks that they are still begging the white man to let them in?
Well, it's this economic situation.
What do you mean?
You got poor blacks, man. Everybody ain't rich.
When the last time you seen a poor black?
In every state.
Where?
Hey, New York, Chicago.
What's a poor black?
Poor black is somebody that they homeless. Okay, let's put it like that.
And why are they homeless?
Hey, they can't get the opportunity to get a job.
That's not why they're homeless.
Yeah, yes it is.
They're homeless. They're homeless because they want to be homeless. They're drug addicts. They're alcoholics. They're lazy, and the government take care of them, so they have no incentives to get up and do for themselves, because the government deliberately take care of them so that they can stay in the street and be homeless and hungry. And when they're not hungry, they're all homeless. But the black government uses them. They keep them in that situation to use them to get money and power for themselves. What, are you homeless?
No, I'm not homeless.
You have a job?
I'm on disability.
Right. So why can't the blacks do what you have done to take care of yourself until now you have disability? But what's wrong with the blacks that they need the white man to always do for them?
Well, not really. Not all blacks is not like that. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
not all, but most. What's wrong with majority of black people that they always blaming the white man for their situation? What's wrong with the blacks?
Hey, well, through times, they did have hard times through civil rights. That was Martin Luther King came on scene. They couldn't ride in the front of the bus. You know that yourself, right?
And that was a hard time not to ride in the front of the bus?
Well, it wasn't right. The law wasn't right.
What wasn't right about it?
Yeah, well, hey.
What wasn't right about it?
Okay, wasn't right about it was it won't be equal. You can ride anywhere you want to sit down and ride the bus, right?
Well, did you know that now that they can ride in the front, they always run to the back?
Well, back then, 50s, they was riding in the back, okay?
Did you know that now they always run to the back of the bus?
No. Some people, because they want to ride in the back of the bus because that's their choice, right?
Did you know that there were black bus companies during the time that the blacks were saying they couldn't ride in the front of the bus? There were black bus company owners, and the black people refused to ride on the black company's buses. Did you know that?
Well, I ain't know that part. I know, they didn't. They treated blacks like a dog.
No,
they beat them and throw them off the bus.
That's not true. What other thing, Larry? Did you know that whole thing that Rosa Parks did was a fake? It was a setup. It was organized by the NAACP. They found this woman and had her to do that because the NAACP wanted to control the blacks for personal gain. And there was another black woman that they were going to use to do it, pretend like she was so tired, she couldn't sit in the bottom of the bus. Lord have mercy, right? They had another black woman to do it, but just before they got ready to do that, they found out this black woman was pregnant out of wedlock, and they knew black people were not going to fall for that because at the time, black people did not support out of wedlock birth, right? And so they went and found Rosa Parks to do it. It was a setup. It wasn't even real.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
Well, I read about it. Yeah, but
and what do you think about? What do you think about that? It wasn't real. Rosa Parks was a fake.
Well, they use her for quality purpose. You know what I'm saying? She was a good standing up woman.
No, she wasn't. Would a good stand up woman cause all that confusion that she did? What's good about that?
What kind of confusion? You say confusion?
Yeah, she pretended that the white man wouldn't let her sit in the front of the bus, and she was just so tired, and she would come home one day by herself, and she refused to sit. It was a setup. What's good?
Yeah, but, hey,
what was good about that?
She changed the laws, right?
And how things been since she changed the laws?
Been better since she changed the laws.
In what way?
You sit anywhere you want, front, back, or on top of the bus.
And so black people can now sit where they want on the white man's bus, right?
Yeah.
And what good has that done black people?
It did good. It opened up doors.
What good?
It opened up doors to better opportunities.
To do what?
And stuff. Better job opportunities and stuff.
But prior to that, black people were creating their own jobs. They were working. They were doing just fine.
No,
yes, they were. I was down there. They were.
No, you from the South, right? Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm telling you the truth about it instead of the lie about it.
No, everything was good
blacks
down the
better
South.
off today, or were they better off before the so-called civil rights movement?
They were better off today. They better off today.
In what way are they better off?
Well, hey, you get college, black college graduates and stuff. Black college different better jobs opportunity and everything. So it's better.
And now that the white man let them in, you're saying that the black people were not capable of doing that for themselves, right?
What kept black people down was the laws of the land.
That's not true. Black people were not kept down until they start listening to Martin Luther King and others. Let me ask, are white people superior to blacks?
Nope.
And then why do black people act like white people are superior to them?
Well, I want to say this. Not all black people think like this about your thinking process.
Not all, but most. Why do black people think that white people are superior to them? Why do they act that way?
You saying all or some?
Why do most black people act and believe that white people are superior to them?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. What my mind thought. This is what I think. Cause they haven't got. They're not educated. They're kind of ignorant.
Who are not educated?
Some black people, if they think like that.
But the black people, they're in government. They are in. They're like police officers. They're in government, Congress people and senators, and they still blame the white man. Why do those people believe that white people are superior to them?
You talking about the one police officer?
I'm talking about the black Congress females and males, the senators females and males, black, the police females and male, black, city council females. Why do they believe white people are superior to them?
They can't believe that. I don't believe that because, hey, what position, look at what kind of job they get. Why would they believe that?
But they still blame the white man, even though the white man let them in, they still blame the white man. So why do they believe white people are superior to them?
You know what? I don't think so. That's a lie.
When you blame other people that they're holding you back, do you believe that they're holding you back because they are superior to you or inferior to you?
Well, when you say that about... Hold on.
Let me take a break. I want to go quickly back to Larry, and Larry was talking about the blacks and about affirmative action and all that, how it was for the blacks. In the civil rights movement or something like that. But Larry?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I asked before the break, are white people, why do black people believe that white people are superior to them? So I want to kind of restate that question. Why do educated black people believe that white people are superior to them?
You know what? That saying right there, man, that's kind of like nonsense saying, because they don't feel whites are superior to them. Because hey, they in a position what they got, and they liking what position they got. They got what they want. Why would they feel like that?
So why are they still complaining about the white man? Even though they've been educated in the white man's school, the white man let them into their white businesses, including the government and everything, and they still cry racism. If they didn't think white people were superior to them, why would they still be crying racism?
No, I haven't heard no... people in no position cry racism.
You ever heard of Maxine Waters cry racism?
Say that again?
You ever heard Maxine Waters cry racism?
Maxine, you know what? That's a beautiful sister.
Have you ever heard Maxine Waters cry racism?
Nope, I haven't.
You haven't? You haven't listened. How about Jasmine Cricket? You ever heard her cry racism?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you're not paying attention. And one last question about this. If if human beings then believe that other human beings are superior to them, would they ever blame them for their situations?
Could you say that one more time?
When black people call white people racist and they blame white people for their situation, is that a sign that they believe white people are superior to them?
No, because there's other factors involved. It ain't that, you know what I'm saying? There's other factors involved.
But if anyone blames someone else for their situation, are they inferior? Is that an inferior person or a superior person?
I'm gonna say, okay. I'm gonna put it this way: they is inferior. You know, if you blame another person, though, but see the
and
truth.
So when black people blame white people for their situation, are black people superior or inferior?
They got a mind, so I'm gonna say they're superior.
How would they be superior? They blaming somebody else for their issues, problems.
Well, I'm gonna just say some might, but not all.
When educated black people do that, how are they superior when they are blaming white people for their problems? How are they superior?
I haven't heard no educated person blame white folk for their situation.
Here's what I want you to do: go and listen to Jasmine Cricket, listen to Maxine Waters, listen to the so-called NAACP, the Congressional Black Caucus, the Average Black Preacher. Listen to them. You haven't been paying attention if you ever heard it because it's all over the place.
I heard of Maxine Waters. I heard
listen to me. Go and pay attention. And when you hear black people calling white people racist, and the white man hold me back, and the white man is racist, educated black people, I want you to call me back and tell me what you think about that, all right?
The white folks is racist, so you know, and you voted for Trump, didn't you?
No, I voted for the Great White Hope.
Well, he ain't no Great White Hope. He don't.
Why
he
you
don't
say
like you.
what?
He don't like no black people.
I don't need him to like me. I need him to work for me.
He ain't working for you.
Who is he working for then?
He's working for white folks.
Really? So when he shut down the borders to stop illegals from coming in, that was for white people?
Yeah, that was for white folks. Cause he's sending back Jamaican. If they ain't no American citizen, he's sending any person that not of color back to another country, to their own country.
So he's sending back illegal aliens to their own country?
Yeah, he is.
Is that wrong to do?
Well, that is wrong to do.
It's wrong to send illegal aliens back to their country.
No, you know, you got me there. No, not really. Not really.
And so he's not wrong about that, right? Is it?
Well, I'm gonna say if they don't belong in the United States, okay, they're illegal. Well, hey, he can do it. I ain't got no beef.
So you're okay with that one? Is it wrong to bring back jobs to America?
Nope. I mean, well, you know, if you can bring jobs back, that's good.
So he's doing that. Is it wrong to bring back the police to cut back on crime?
No, that's good. You know, bring back the police. Well, that what you think he's doing?
Those are the things that he's doing. So what is it you don't like about him?
Well,
because you just agree with everything he's doing. What is it that you don't like about him?
I don't like him messing with the black African American in a museum. He tapping around with stuff like that.
In what way? In what way?
He trying to like take artifacts, you know, messing with different artifacts in the
What's
museum.
An apple pat?
Do that.
What's an apple pat?
Artifact.
What's an apple pat?
It's certain things in a, you know, it could be a robe or something like that.
Like a basket full of apples?
It can be something like that. But Yeah, but
How
it ain't
old
about
are you, Larry?
Hey, I'm 66 years old.
When Barack Obama, and then I got to run, Larry, but when Obama was in office, he deported. Well, you're okay with the deported thing, so we don't need to go back to that. I want you to really, Larry, I want you to listen to Jasmine Cricket. I want you to listen to the educated black people who are in positions, and I want you to hear them blame white people by calling them racist and blaming them. I want you to call me back and let me know, are they doing that because they think white people are superior to them and they're inferior, and or what the real deal? Will you do that? Let me know.
Yeah, let me say this last word before I hang up.
Okay.
You know, some black folks in this society, they militant, okay?
Yeah.
They militant. That's like, I'm a militant black, so.
You a militant black?
I'm militant.
What that mean?
That means, hey, to fight against racism.
What is racism?
Me not give you a fair deal, not give you a job or nothing. That's because you black. Get back.
But there are so many black people who would not hire other blacks because they know blacks are lazy, complain, show up late, and they want to get paid. So a lot of black companies will not even hire black people. Are they racist?
Yeah, they racist.
Because they won't hire a lazy black person?
I don't know all about that. They don't even know. They don't even know that person. How they know they lazy?
Because they know black people.
You know, you got a thing about blacks though. Why you put down blacks all the time?
Do you know that? Like let me ask you this: do you know blacks are lazy?
No, I don't know that.
You never heard of a lazy black person?
No, that's not true.
And so you don't sound like a militant.
Do I sound like one?
I
don't.
No, you sound like a good man.
Yeah, okay.
Are you a good man?
Yeah, I'm a good man. I am.
You love white people?
The one that good.
Do you love white people?
When you say that, I got to only love the people that good. If they white, if they good, I love them, okay? But they ain't good.
Do you love white people?
The good ones.
Do you love white people?
Do you love white folks?
Yeah. Do you love white people?
I can't love them all.
Are you a Christian?
In a certain extent.
Are you a Christian?
Somewhat.
Are you a Christian?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Did God said to love all or some?
Hey, I can't. Hey, I'm not Jesus and I'm not God.
Did God say to love some or all?
I'm not gonna love nobody today, wicked and evil. Nope.
Did God say to love some or all?
Well, God said love all, but I'm a human being, okay?
When God sent his son, Jesus Christ, to save all the world, did he send Jesus to save some people because they were good, or to save all because they were evil?
Well, he said that when Jesus said love all, right? And
so if you love God, how can you love God and not love all?
I can have a different perspective. That's my thing. I got a different perspective.
How can you love God and not love all of his children?
I can still love God and have my own perspective, okay?
How?
That's by the Father knowing that, hey, I care for him and he loves me.
How can you love God and don't love all his children?
Hey, proven fact that everybody's not good. So,
are you good?
Yeah, I'm a good man.
What's good about you?
Hey, I praise God.
And what good about you?
What good about me? Hey, I love people, okay?
Do you love all people?
I can't say that. I can't say that,
One last question, Larry, I got to run. Who are you?
Who are me?
No, who are you? Now, Who are you?
Hey,
You're supposed to say, who am I? Who are you?
I'm a black man in America.
That's your color, and that's where you live. But who are you?
Okay, I'm a beautiful, nice man. Can I say that?
That's your color and your so-called personality. Who are you?
When you said, who are me? I'm a
Don't
human
be
being.
saying, who are me? Who am I? Who are you?
Hey, I'm a man that's living. That's all I can say, okay?
You what?
I'm a man that's living. I'm living life.
And who are you?
Who are me? Okay.
Don't keep saying, who are me? Who am I? Who are you?
Who am I? Okay. When you say that, I'm a man of confidence. I'm a man of confidence, okay? I'm going to leave it at that, okay?
And who are you? You told me about your feelings. You feel what you call confidence. You're a male, and your emotions is that of confidence. But who are you?
I'm Larry.
I'm
Larry. That's who I am.
That's your name. That's your name. But who are you?
Why are you going through all this deep sins and stuff? What? Can I ask you who are you or whatever?
Who are you, Larry?
Hey, I know who I am.
Who are you? Who are you?
It'd be 1,000 words if I go through that. Okay,
give me one.
Hey, I'm a boss. That's what I am. That's who I am. I'm a boss.
That's what you do. But who are you?
How many rappers I can put out my hat?
Larry, listen. Here's your job. Your assignment. Watch those educated black people blaming white people, and I wanted to know: do you think that they're doing it because they believe white people are superior to them, and and do they feel that they're inferior to white people? And then I want you to tell me who you are the next time we talk. All right?
That could be fictional. What you talking about? That could be fiction.
Well, call me back and let me know who you are and why do educated black people feel inferior to whites. Let me know, all right?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Larry. I want to show this to you really quick. And I've told you that human beings are evil and that the people in so-called position of power or whatever, they want you angry. They want you out of control. Not because they care about you, but they want to use you for personal gain. To gain power, perceived power, but power, and wealth. And everything they do is about themselves and never about you. There's not one law that has been passed by these people that is about you. It's all about themselves, and it's all about keeping you in a state of anger and confusion because it's about the money. And they never want blacks and white people to come together as one. They don't want you to stop blaming each other. They don't want you to stop hating each other. Because if you stopped, that will put them out of business. It will put them out of business. And so they want the word racism, white supremacism, anti-Semitism. They want DEI. They want affirmative actions to stay alive in your mind because it gets money and power for them. And you get nothing. Maybe you get some free drugs, you get a welfare place to live where the government take care of you, but you get nothing. And they'll live in high on the hog. And anyone, I don't care who it is. Anyone that blame anyone for the way they feel or their situation is a weak person. It's an inferior person. And you believe that that person or those people are superior to you. And you're saying that they can hold me back because they're superior to me. I'm not able to take care of myself. I'm not able to build my own or get my own job or feed myself. These people are holding me back. They own the banks. They own this and they own that. And they're holding me back and I can't make, you're inferior. And you're saying that another person is superior to you. That's why you're complaining. People who are superior never complain about another person because they know that no one can hold them back. What does that mean, hold you back? From what? All inferior people blame others. And they get a thrill from it. And especially when they get pats on the back for blaming others, because you have an inferior person blaming others, and then you have other inferior people patting you on the back in agreement because they're inferior too. They're weak. And they've been set up and don't know it. And the people who set them up to be angry, to be blind, to blame, are making buku money off of you. And every law they pass is a law to keep you in an inferior state of being. Look at the laws that's been passed, supposedly to bring justice to the injustice. And the injustice still, according to them, injustice. It hasn't done anything. Why don't you wake up and see what's going on? Here's an example of what I'm talking about. Somebody this is from X, an X user suggests black people let me see. A user on X suggests black people do if what? Oh, it left out the what? Oh, that's why. Let me see. This person is suggesting on X what here's someone on X who is suggesting what black people should do with white supremacists. Watch this.
Exactly, yeah. It's basically an instruction on what to do if someone calls you the N-word in public. And this person calls out white supremacists doing this. So Mike Baggs here on Twitter, X, says, if a white supremacist calls you the N-word in public, do the following. Record it, file a police report, report it to the Department of Justice, and notify your local NAACP. That paper trail sets the stage to sue for emotional distress and racial harassment. Don't let it slide. Always document and fight back.
Amazing. So what this guy is telling you, black people, stay in your state of anger, be inferior, and blame white people. And if white people don't do what you say, because now white people are starting to speak up, if you notice that. And they'll say, I'm not racist. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. And look like white people are about to, because they know if you destroy that word racism by not, or the N-word, by not giving into it, these black people are going to be out of a job. How are they going to make their money if they can't use you, right? And so this guy is making a suggestion to keep it going. He's telling you to sue white people if they use a word. He is telling you to stay angry so you can be blind so people like him can use you. And then they're telling white people, stay on the run. Keep running from the N-word. Keep running from the racist word. So we can keep you divided, because now, not all, but a lot of white people are going to be afraid of being sued. They're gonna be over. The NAACP is about the NAACP and nobody else but the NAACP. They want you down and out. This is evil. They don't want peace in America. Evil people do not want peace. And anyone that has anger is evil. Anger is evil. They covered up the word evil and call it anger, but it's the same spirit. It's the same motivation. An angry person cannot be trusted. And anyone that's telling you to do this kind of stuff is evil. And you're evil for falling for it. We are supposed to love one another, not that emotional love, but a dispassionate love. Emotional love is mama love. That's not real love. That's anger. That's hatred. And they don't want you to have peace with one another. They want the races fighting. That's why they come up with all kinds of stuff, DEI and all that, and it's for money for them. Think of all the money that these people are getting to run DEI, to tell white businesses how to run their country. I mean, their companies and their country, to be honest. I would suggest that you wake up and stop hating. Do what you want. Live in your misery, but you can be free. These black people don't care about you at all. You think it's about my money. You think Jasmine Cricket give 1 cent about you? Jasmine Cricket is learning how to make money by keeping you angry, by blaming the white man. That's all she ever talk about. She don't tell you, hey, you can be free. I became a whatever she is because I worked hard. She didn't, but I worked hard. I did this. I did. No one controlling me. She doesn't tell you how. Have you noticed angry people do not tell you how to overcome the situation? I'm telling you, all people, especially adults, but all, drop your anger so you can be free. Anger is evil, and it blinds you, and you can't see that your own color is trying to hold you back. Your own mama will hold you back. Your own mama will build an arm against you when you forgive her because she's evil and she doesn't want to admit, my child is right. I turn them away from their father. I impose my will on them. Do what you want. But I recommend you work on you and become free men and women, or man or woman. You don't have to live as slaves. These people are coming here and they're bringing their asshole ideas. My country is gone, and it's not going to get better. I know that. I accept that. I understand that. I see that. I wonder, I'm asking a question I already know the answer to, but why, I've been telling white people for years that what's happened in South Africa will happen to you here in America. No one seemed to believe me. I wonder why they couldn't see it. And likewise, you don't see that by letting these people into our country, they don't have the same type of what you call values that we have. Even now, they're like these different delivery companies are hiring these asshole people to deliver your food, to deliver packages to your home. And some of them are taking dumps in your yard. They think they're at home in their own country. KTLA 5, a couple of Los Angeles family woke up to unpleasant Mother's Day delivery on Sunday. A pair of KTLA viewers submitted video showing a delivered driver for Amazon pulled down her shorts and relieved herself in the front yard of 2 Woodland Hill homes. Watch this from KTLA.
Yeah, we're Kareem. We've heard the saying, when you gotta go, you just simply have to go. But this takes it to a whole nother level. An Amazon delivery driver leaves a nasty surprise on this Mother's Day, and she was caught in the act. twice. A delivery driver for Amazon can't seem to hold it in. On more than one occasion, a woman is seen about to leave an Amazon package at this porch off Yano Drive in Woodland Hills around 5:30 Mother's Day morning. But she also leaves a smelly surprise. She relieves herself, does number 1 and number 2 before pulling up her shorts and walks away. The homeowners were expecting a Mother's Day gift.
When I woke up, my husband said he was going to bring me some coffee and a pastry. He went downstairs and was greeted by not only one package, but a second inappropriate, disgusting package, which was essentially like human feces and looked to be urination. So I was really disgusted. It was a horrible experience. And my husband, unfortunately, had to pick it up on Mother's Day.
Wow. You still want your package delivered? What do you say about that? What do you think about that? The woman urinated on the front property of a different Woodland Hill home. Watch this.
She was not done. On another delivery later that morning, the worker is seen urinating on the front property of a different Woodland Hills home. She pulls down her shorts, does her business, and takes off like nothing ever happened. It's unclear why the driver just couldn't wait to find a restroom. The incidents happened 20 minutes apart, the homes less than 1 mile from one another. Amazon reps say the driver was an independent contractor, adding in a statement, quote, "We're deeply disturbed by the unacceptable behavior of this delivery driver and apologize to the customers involved. We immediately identify the driver and they are no longer delivering on behalf of Amazon."
What a mess, huh? What do you say about that, folks? What do you think about that? Tissue, please. Tissue, please. In my country, this is what it has come to. In my country. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. She looked like a foreigner. I don't know if she's illegal or not, but she definitely looked like a foreigner. She probably thought she was in her own country. And in her country, she could do that. Tissue, please. And one last video. I want to know, but isn't that amazing, though? You may step outside your door to pick up your package and step into some dump. She even looked around to see, well, let me see if there's a camera around or something. She didn't even wipe. She didn't clean it. She just got up and left. What do you think about the way this woman handled this situation? Here's a video of an Asian woman barking at a black man for playing his music out loud on the bus. Watch this from X.
What you wanna do, beat me up?
No,
What's that? What are you doing? What are you doing to everyone else this year?
About everybody else.
Wanna beat me up in front of everyone when you're the one for Look at that.
All of them.
What she think she in China? Oh, what is up with it? Nick, I don't understand that one. What's her trip?
She's trying to make a point that he's playing his music out loud. She kept saying, "Oh, what are you doing to everybody else's ears?" And so she's trying to make a point here, like, okay, you're going to play your music out loud. You kind of hear it in the background, like the little beat. Going,
yeah.
And she's barking in his ears for that reason.
And so why is she barking like a dog?
To inflict on him the rudeness of him playing the music out loud from his phone, inflict on him the same pain. Bark in his ears to show him how rude he's being.
But she ain't afraid of that black man?
She kept saying, "Oh, what, are you going to beat me up? Oh, are you going to beat me up?" She was like daring him.
Wow. asking doesn't work. It may get you beat up. Oh. So Derek is saying by asking him to take it off, turn it down. I could see her getting cursed out when she asked that man, can you turn your music down a little bit?
Yeah.
You would think that human being would kind of common sensely know, hey, I got my music up too loud. I'm on a bus. Everybody don't want to hear this mess. Was he an older man?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't call him an older man, but he may have looked older than her.
Yeah. But she had like she on a China bus.
I don't think they do. Do they do that on the China bus? I don't think they even play the music out loud.
Maybe.
So it wouldn't even be happening. Yeah, he didn't, I wouldn't say he was too much older.
So do you think it worked by her playing crazy with him as he was playing crazy?
Worked how?
Like was it
work
effective? Right.
It was not effective in getting him to stop. It
Yeah.
did not change society. So to answer your question, I'd say no.
What do y'all think about that one?
It may work in another situation, but not this one.
I know. Black man ain't gonna turn the music down. That's why you playing it, so you can cause habit. 888-7753. Hey, she sounds like a dog. What's up? She ain't afraid of the blacks. Let me go to Dave, a first time call out of California. Dave, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Hey, Dave.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, Dave.
How are you?
All is well.
Good. Yes, I have. My question is, I have a lot of fear in my heart, in my head. I want to remove that so that I can meet a girl or a woman to have a girlfriend or maybe possible wife in the future, you know.
And what are you afraid of?
I'm scared that if I communicate with her, she might beat me up, call the police, or say that I'm doing something bad or something, or maybe her or someone, maybe her brother might come out and clobber me or something. You
How
know,
old
I don't
are you?
know. Pardon me?
How old are you?
I'm 50.
50. And where
Yes.
and where is the fear?
I don't know if it's in my heart or in my head. I don't know.
What does it look like?
I don't know what it looked like. Maybe
And how do you-
it's invisible, probably.
And how do you know you have fear then?
Because I don't make that attempt. I don't try.
And so how do you know you have fear though?
I don't know how to answer that question.
And so,
I'm not sure.
So if you're not sure, why did you say you have fear if you're not sure you have fear?
So does it look like something, fear, or or it's invisible?
And how do you know you have fear? Why do you say you have fear if you don't know you have fear?
I don't know.
So why do you say you have fear?
Because I don't try to communicate or try to introduce myself or try to talk to the woman or to the girl.
But why do you say that is because you have fear? You don't know what it looked like. You don't know. How do you know you have fear if you don't know what it looked like? Why are you saying that I have fear if you don't even know you have fear? Why are you saying you have fear? And if you don't know what it looked like and you don't know for sure you have it, why not go and talk to the girl and see what happens?
Like I mentioned to you, maybe I'm scared because she might hit me, spit on me, kick me, or maybe call the police or something. You know, like that effect.
Has that happened to you before?
Never before.
So where are you getting those ideas from?
I don't know. Maybe I hear that on TV or something. I see women treating men very bad, you know.
But where are you getting the idea that all that might happen to you? It has never happened. You don't know if it's going to happen. Where are you getting the idea that it might happen to you and it's preventing you from going and talking to a girl? Where are you getting that from?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I seen that on TV or some show or something on
and
the
why
television.
would you believe something on some show will happen to you if it never happened before?
Well, yeah, that's true because it didn't happen to me yet.
So why don't you talk to a woman? Next time you see a woman, you want to say hi or talk. Why don't you go and talk to her and see what happens?
And if it does happen, if she does spit on me or kick me or beat me up, what do I do? What do I do?
Did that happen already?
No, that never happened.
And so why are you saying that if it happened? Why are you going with something that has never happened? Why not have a wait and see?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Why not have a wait and see what happened? Wait and see what happens rather than thinking about what might happen.
Oh, so wait and see if it happened.
Yeah. Why don't you wait and see what happens rather than assume what might happen?
Oh, so don't assume. What do you mean by assume? What do you mean?
Assuming that she might kick you, she may spit on you, she may call her brother. You assuming something that has not happened. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, that was a question. Why are you doing that? Where are you getting that from that this might happen or might not happen? Why are you doing that?
I don't know. I don't know where this come from. This I don't know. But you make a lot of sense that it hasn't happened yet. So I think you might be correct.
But I just asked a question. You're thinking something and believing something that has not happened, and you have this fear. You don't even know where it is. And yet you won't go and live your life. What will happen if you stop listening to those thoughts and just see what happens? What will happen to you?
If I stop listening to the thoughts.
Yeah, and just wait and see. Have a wait and see. Go and do what you want to do and see what happens. What would happen if you did that?
Probably nothing.
So then why don't you go and do what you need to do and see what happens?
Because I walk around the park. I go to the park when I'm walking, getting exercise. I see a beautiful woman. I say, man, I want to go talk to them, to meet them. But then I shake and shiver because I'm scared. You know?
So next time you see a woman that you would like to say hi to or talk to her shaking in your boot. She doesn't know you're shaking. Shaking in your boot, walk up and say hello or whatever, and see what happens.
Oh, so she don't know that I'm nervous or anything like that?
Not at all. It's only your mind. She doesn't know it.
Oh, it's only in my mind only.
Yes.
She's not thinking. Oh, this guy looks shy, or he look great.
Unless you acting out what you're thinking in your mind. Let's say you believe those thoughts. Oh, she's gonna see this. She's gonna do that, and you're acting crazy. She's gonna know something's wrong. But if you just quietly shaking your boots, but introduce yourself, say hello, she doesn't know that because she's nervous too.
You think she's nervous too?
Oh, yeah, you're not the only one, buddy.
Also, then you think that me nervous and feeling uncomfortable, she is feeling the same way?
100%.
But she looking like a beautiful model, walking down the showroom.
She's not showing you that she's shaking in her boots. And you don't have to show her you're shaking in your boots.
And that's very interesting. I never thought about that. Because I see the women walking so beautiful down the street or whatever, and not known. They don't look nervous. They look like picture perfect. You know what I'm saying?
But when you're walking down the street and she sees you, you don't look nervous to her either. You look picture perfect to her. It's just all in your mind. You allowed an illusion to stop you from living. Why are you doing that?
Why do I have this crazy imagination in my mind? Where it come from?
Hold on 1 minute. I'll tell you in a moment. Let me take a break, all right?
Okay, thank you so much. I will wait for you.
All right. Let me go quickly back to Dave, a first-time call out of California. And so, Dave.
Yes, I'm here.
Your question is what?
I want to say something else to you. My good friend, he said to me, a little beer to drink would calm me down so that I'm not scared. But the problem, I don't want to do that. I don't want to drink any beer. I don't like it. The taste is bad. I'd rather drink water.
That's right. Don't do that. That's a cowardly way out. That's not how you overcome fear.
Mm-hmm.
You overcome fear by overcoming thoughts. You asked during the break, how did this happen? How did that happen to me? You're living in your imagination. You believe those thoughts that you're having are yours. The thought of fear, the thought of loneliness, the thought of depression, the thought of suicide, whatever thought you're having, you think that you are the creator of those thoughts and you think they're real. And as long as you believe that they're real, they will control you. But when you realize you are not your thoughts, you don't create thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time, and stop identifying with them, then you will be free. Because thoughts create emotions. Emotions confirm thoughts. The thoughts tell you that you are afraid to talk to that woman. And then you get the emotion that feels like fear. And then you're like, yeah, I am afraid. Stop saying that. Stop listening to them and live your life. Do what you want to do in life.
How do I remove these thoughts from my big head? How do I remove these thoughts? But it makes sense.
Number one is that you got to forgive your mother for recreating you in her image. When you were a kid, your mother imposed her will on you, making you angry. And the moment you became angry, you became like her because you become like what you hate. And your mother lives in her imagination because she resents her mother. So you forgot to be innocent and just live your life without thoughts. You escaped into your imagination and you've been living there ever since, identifying with evil. All thoughts are evil. And you've been identified with evil thinking that it was you. If you forgive your mother for turning you away from your father, for imposing her will on you, hey, mother, I'm sorry for resenting you for what you've done. Because the same way you think and the same way you feel, that's exactly how your mother think and feel. You became like your mother. So her mother did it to her. Forgive your mother. God will forgive you, and He will bring you out of those thoughts.
Well, so now that I think of it, I remember my mother would tell me lots of times she was scared for different things.
Yep.
And I used to tell my mother, "Why are you scared for? Don't worry about nothing." I would tell her that.
Yep.
I would actually tell my mother, "Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the people and this and that." But now I found myself, I cannot take my own advice.
And that was because when you were a kid, there was too much pressure for you. Your father should have protected you from your mother imposing that on you. And so, but he didn't do it because he didn't know how to deal with your mother. Your mother was his mother too. But forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother. But you became like your mother because you resented that about her. That's why you have to forgive her for what she's done to you. Don't ask her to forgive you. You apologize for resenting her. And I promise you, Dave, God will bring you out of those thoughts and you will freely live your life without thoughts.
So so is that crazy that the advice that I gave my mother to not worry about being scared, I transformed into that.
Yes.
Into the advice I gave my mother, I give to myself now that I'm older now.
But do you understand you became like your mother?
I became like her.
Yes.
And how so?
Because when she was doing that and you were a kid, you couldn't handle that. It was too much for you. Because it's evil. Fear is evil, right? And it was too much for you to handle. You were innocent, and your innocent nature could not handle the evil nature of your mother. So you became angry at her. You resented her for acting that way. And the moment you resented her, you fell away from innocent, and you woke up to the darkness in your imagination. You became like your mother.
And you know what is funny is that I notice I catch myself sometimes doing a lot of stuff that my mother did in the past.
Yes.
And I said to myself, "Oh, I remember my mom doing this same thing I'm doing now."
Yep. Because you become like what you hate.
You become what you hate.
Yes.
What do you mean by that one?
That you resent your mother and her ways, things that she did and stuff like that. You hated her for that. You call it anger. You became angry at her, which is hatred. But you became angry at her about those things, and you became like her because anger is judgment. But you didn't notice as a kid. You couldn't help it. And by becoming angry, you judged her for being so evil, and you became like her. Your mindset and your emotions are identical to your mother's mindset and emotions. It's the same thing. Is she still living?
No, she's not.
Forgive her just like you can't help yourself. She could not help herself. And when you realize that, stop being angry at her, and God will forgive you, and He will clear up your mind for you.
How do I forgive her when she is not? She's gone now.
By realizing that you can't help yourself, you're controlled by thoughts and feelings, right?
Yes.
You can't help yourself, right?
Yes, yes.
And
sometimes I think
your mother has the same problem. She couldn't help herself. If she could have done better, she would have. She couldn't help it. She was controlled by her thoughts and her emotions as well.
So now my question to you is, how do I eliminate this from my big fat head?
Number one, by realizing I do have this anger and I'm wrong. And once you see that, it's going to start to change. And then I want you to, have you forgiven your father for not protecting you from your mother?
Mm-hmm. What did you say?
Have you forgiven your father for not protecting you from your mother?
No, I never.
And so
I
what?
never thought about that.
And what did he say when you, as a kid, would ask him to help you deal with your mother? What did he say?
I don't remember he saying nothing to me. He just said, "Go about your business. Go play."
So when you asked your father to help you deal with your mother, he would tell you to go play?
I think so.
So
go play or go outside and go ride your bicycle or something.
And so is he still living?
No, he's not either. He's not here either.
Okay. Forgive your father for not being able to protect you from your mother because he didn't know how to deal with your mother. He hated his mother, and the woman that he married was just like his mother. So he became the boy, and your mother became his mama. And the cycle repeats itself generation after generation until someone forgives.
So why did so my father, he married my mom because it reminded him of his mother?
Yes, he married what he hated.
How can you, it don't make no sense. How can you hate something, but yet you marry them?
Because you love what you hate, but you don't realize that's what it is until you're locked into it. You have this false love. He had this false emotion for your mother, right? And it felt like love, but it was hate. Then he married her, and then he realized, I married a woman I hated. Because he thought love, that feeling of love, he thought that was love, but that is hate. That is not love. And it doesn't work.
You know, I want to mention something to you. I used to be married before, and I married this girl because she kind of reminded me of my mom.
I rest my case.
But what happened was when as I was married to her for a long period of time, I started to realize I didn't like some of her characteristics. But in the beginning, everything was okay. She reminded me of my mother. But then later on, she's doing some stuff that is out of character from what my mom used to do.
Yep, you married your mother in the same way your father married his mother. You married the woman that you hated. You married your mother. And that's why you're afraid of women today. You're afraid of your mother because you have not forgiven her for what she's done to you. Anyone who has anger is afraid of their mothers, men and women. Because if anyone can make you angry, they can control you. And your mother had control over you. In the same way that woman was controlling you. You married the woman that you hated. You hated your mother. But if you forgive your mother by realizing she couldn't help herself, God will forgive you, and you will never be attracted to the spirit of your mother inside of other women. You'll be only attracted to different kind of women.
So now if I meet someone and they're talking and they don't act like my mother, but they're acting like something else, I should be able to accept that since it's not the same stuff with my mom.
Well, don't plan that. Have a wait to see. What I recommend you do: forgive your father, forgive your mother, and are you familiar with my silent prayer?
No. What is that one?
Go to rebuildingtheman.com/silent prayer.
Mm-hmm.
rebuildingtheman.com/silent prayer. And I want you to start doing that so the light of truth can bring you out of all those thoughts. The thought of fear, the thought of anxiety, the thought of worry, the thoughts of emotions. It will bring you out, and you will only be subject to what is right. And if it meant for you to have a wife or another woman, the right one will be put into your life without you looking for it, and you will not have to make it work at all. But the one thing that will happen, you will have no fear. You'll be able to talk to anyone and deal with life in a perfect way. But you got to do the silent prayer. Stop calling it thoughts and emotions you. You're not your thoughts, and you're not your emotions. So you can stop identifying. You got to work on you right now. So
when I go about my business in the world, don't think anything crazy. Just do, because sometimes I be thinking too much about everything.
No, stop it. Do what's in front of you to do. Never think about the outcome. The outcome will work itself out. You take advantage of a good opportunity and you do what you need to do and let those thoughts pass. Stop calling them you. Stop reacting and be aware of them, but don't call them you. You're not your thoughts.
Okay. I'm starting to calm down a little bit. I was nervous talking to you.
Yeah, because now your whole being is relaxing and those thoughts are kind of disappearing. I promise you, Dave, if you forgive your mother and your father, realize they had the same problem you have. You got them from them, especially from your mother. Forgive them, and then do the silent prayer. You will have an amazing life.
Okay.
rebuildingaman.com/silent prayer, all right?
And there's a prayer in there that you can pray.
Yeah, it shows you how to just be still and let the truth catch up with you and reveal those thoughts to you. Take you out of them. You're not your thoughts. The real Dave don't have fear. The real you have never had fear.
Really?
Yeah. Who are you?
Just a man trying to live.
No, that's what you are, but who are you?
What do you mean? Who am I?
Who are you?
A person?
No, that's what you are, but who are you?
I don't know how to answer that question. What do you mean?
When you say, I have fear, who are you talking about?
Oh, me.
And who are you?
Dave.
That's your name. Who are you?
A man.
That's what you are. Who are you?
A person.
That's what you are, but who are you? When you say you have fear, who is telling you that you have fear?
No one is telling me.
But then why do you say I have fear? Who is telling you that you have fear, and who is that person talking to?
Oh, I'm not talking to anyone. I was just talking to myself, my brain.
Are you your brains?
No, my brain is inside of my head.
And so are you your brains?
Yes.
You're your brains?
I'm me, yes. I am me, and then I have the brains.
Are you your brains?
I don't know how to answer that question. What do you mean?
Let me ask you this. Do you create your own thoughts?
Do I create my own thoughts? Yes, I think I do.
And how do you do it? Tell me the steps, 3 steps of how you create your own thoughts.
I think about something, and then I guess I do it. I think about something like I'm cooking food, and then I go cook food. Or if I go to make
Dave, tell me, how do you create the thought of fear? How do you create it?
Because I'm thinking that the woman is going to.
I know,
hit
but
me.
how do you create that thought to think about it? What are the steps? What are the steps you take to create a thought?
Oh, just think about it.
But how?
How? Your question is, how do I create that?
Yes.
Oh, in my head, I'm thinking about that.
But how do you do it in your head? What are the steps you take in your head to create a thought?
Well, maybe if I watch a TV or watch a news or something on TV and I see something that happened to someone else, I think about it, maybe it happened to me.
Let me do this because of time. Is it possible you do not create thoughts? Would you ever create a thought that would give you fear?
Would I create a thought that would give me fear?
Right.
Probably not.
So why? So how do you? Why would? If you created thought, all your thought would be good and friendly thoughts, right?
Yes.
So why do you think you create your own thoughts? You would never create a thought of fear.
No, I don't think so.
I gotta run because of time, Dave. I gotta run. I want you to do the silent prayer, forgive your parents, and call me back and let me know how it goes.
I will. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Dave. Call me back. I want you to work on yourself.
I will, and you have a beautiful day, and thank you for accepting my phone call.
You're welcome. I want you to know you're not your thoughts, the good or the bad ones, and you're not your feelings, all right?
So don't think about the bad thoughts.
Don't think about the bad ones or the good ones. You just live. Don't think about the past or the future. All you do is live right now. And don't think about the outcome of anything. Have a wait and see.
So don't think about no outcome or nothing. Just do it.
Exactly.
Okay. I talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, Dave.
Okay, bye-bye.
Amazing. Let me go to Josh. Another Josh out of Canada. The 51st state of the United States of America. Josh, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How's it going?
All is well, Josh.
That's good. Good to hear. And, yeah, so I called you a few years ago. It's been a while. But, yeah, so I'm basically I wanted your advice. I think I might be a psychopath.
That you might be?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, I've been on the wrong parts of the internet since I was 10 years old, watching, like, pornography, gore, all these bad things. Now you know, I just can't relate to people. I don't really care about people except for people in my own little tribe, you know. And, yeah, like, I feel like I've become this evil, you know, and there's like no going back now, and I don't really know what to do. How can I renew my mind?
How old are you now?
28.
48?
28.
Oh, 28. And your question for me is what?
Well, how do I stop being a psychopath? How can I feel again, and how do I get these nasty thoughts out of my head, you know? Like, I watched that video you showed with the kids, and I was just like, oh, man, I hope the kid gets tased. You know, like, how do I stop being wretched like that?
Oh, what now? And so,
what?
When you say you, who are you talking about?
When I say me, I'm talking about Josh, I guess, my consciousness. Maybe you're like, do you mean my thoughts? That's what you're getting at.
When you say, I have this messed up mind now, I've been looking at these movie things, and now I'm so wretched, and I'm so this. Who are you referring to?
Myself.
And who are you? Who is the self you're talking about?
Josh from Canada. I don't know how to answer that.
That's your name, but who? When you say you are this, and you have been doing that, and you are this way, who are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that, Jesse.
But when you say you are a certain way, who are you talking about? And if you don't know how to answer that, how do you know you are a certain way, that you have these issues? Who are you talking about?
right? I guess just this concept of who I am, this identity.
And what do you mean by that?
It's like, well, you've got me confused because, like, I don't know what level you're speaking on here.
When you say you're a psychopath, you say you're a psychopath. You've been doing this so long now, you don't know how to be normal. And you say, when I saw the kids in the video, I was like, wow, I hope the kids are whatever, right? Who are you talking about?
Me.
And who are you?
Psychopath, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I don't know who I am.
So then why do you say these things about you when you don't know who you're talking about? You don't know who you are. Why do you say those things about you? Why do you call yourself those things?
Yeah, you've got a point.
No, that was a question.
Right. Well, I mean, if you don't completely know who you are, why pass a judgment on yourself, right?
But so if you're right, you don't know who you are. Why are you saying I feel this way? I'm a psychopath. Why are you saying that if you don't know? And who is telling you that you're those things? Who's telling you that?
Is it Satan?
No. Who is?
I don't know what the right answer is.
No, it is the devil. You're right about that part. But who is telling you how you are?
Well, if I say me, then you're going to be like, well, who are you?
Right.
so, like, I don't know how to proceed in this conversation, Jesse.
So, if you don't know who you are, what will happen if you stop saying, when the thoughts come to tell you you're a psychopath, you have lost your way, you have been watching those movies, what will happen if you stop saying, I am this way, or I feel this way, or I'm this? What will happen if you stop identifying with thoughts and feelings? What will happen to you?
Well, those words like psychopath probably wouldn't be entwined in my identity. I wouldn't think of myself that way, and it'd be better.
So why don't you stop doing that? Why don't you stop identifying with evil, calling it you?
Yeah, sounds good. I'll stop.
That was a question. I'm asking, why don't you stop?
Well, I suppose I hadn't had the right advice in which you've just given, and that's why I hadn't stopped, and now I will.
That makes sense. So listen, I want you to know that I'm telling you the truth and nothing but the whole truth. The real you have never done anything wrong. The real you have never watched a porno video or anything like that. The real you is not a sinner nor a saint. The real you is a free person. And this thing that you identify with is a false you. You call them thoughts and feelings you. And it's not true. You're not your thoughts. You're not your feelings. You just have identified with it when you were traumatized with anger. And all your life, you've identified with evil, calling it you. It's not you. Drop the calling it you, and you can be free. It's not going to want to depart from you. The thoughts of pornography and the thoughts of this and the thoughts of psychopath. Those are just thoughts that give you fake feelings. They're not going to want to leave you, but they have to leave if you stop calling them you.
Right. That makes sense.
Hold on, buddy. Can you hold for a minute?
Yeah, no problem.
Hold on. Let me take a quick break. I want to go back to Josh out of Canada. Josh trying to understand. He wants to overcome. And he want to overcome like some human beings do. Josh.
Jesse.
Thanks for holding. When you find yourself opening up your computer to go look at these videos, who tell you to go look, open up the computer and do it? Who tell you that, to do that?
The devil.
No, I'm serious. Who tell you to do that?
Well, I would imagine it's the imagination, or it's the devil, or both.
But did you, before knowing that, did you think it was you telling yourself to do that?
Yes.
And then once you do it, who accused you of doing it? Who tell you, oh, you're a psychopath, you're such a horrible person? Who accused you once you do it?
The devil.
And so I want you to know that, and I want to encourage you to start watching that and stop calling you evil spirits, thoughts, or encouraging you to do it. And then once you do it, evil spirit, thoughts, and emotion accuse you of being an awful person. And all you're doing is believing lies about yourself, because none of those things are you.
What the?
Amazing.
Yeah, good point. I will remember that. Listen, before we get off here, I have a request. If that song was amazing, like that song put together by AI, you all should release that, because my goodness, put a smile on my face.
I know, it's amazing. What now?
It's amazing.
Are you doing the silent prayer, Josh?
No, I've heard you talk about it many times, but I don't actually even know what it is.
Well, go to Rebuilding a Man. If you're serious about overcoming this fallen state you're in, you really got to start working on you. You got to put first the kingdom, seeking the truth, and the truth will make you free. I recommend you start doing the silent prayer, and you start practice being aware of those thoughts and stop calling them you.
Sounds good, Jesse. Thank you.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
Absolutely. Both my mother and my father, they've got a lot to be thankful to you about. I'm the only one of their kids that hasn't cut them off. So
okay,
and that's all thanks to your teaching.
Well, start doing the silent prayer and stop from this point and the rest of your life. Never call a thought you. You're not your thoughts. You're not your emotion. You can call it. Oh, I see it trying to make me think this way. That's not me thinking this, or blah, blah, blah. Stop calling it. Eventually, you won't have to say that, because you're going to stop identifying with thoughts and emotions, and you will be free, all right?
Right.
Let me know how it goes.
Will do, Jesse.
All
Thanks
right,
a bunch.
All right.
Take care.
Bye. So nice. Let me go to Jerome out of New Jersey. Jerome, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. Happy Wednesday.
Thank you, Jerome. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the South Africa situation, but I feel like I have to make my South Africa comment is going to be quick. I just feel like I have to speak on these two young kids with the gun, and I really don't mean to turn things racial, but it is just funny to me how they're handling these kids with kid gloves. And again, I don't mean to turn things racial. I just know that if their skin tone was darker, it would not be going like this. And that was just my one quick comment I had to make about that.
And where did you get that idea from?
Everything we see. Like every time we see this happen with kids their age, or, black or white, whatever age they are, when you see a black person with a gun, you don't get that, put the gun down, we're trying to help you, and all these, they got a lot of time. We saw another black kid with a gun, and the cops got out. They didn't even give this kid 5 seconds. They shot him on sight. And the fact that they're talking to them.
Where did you get that idea that would have happened in this situation?
Because it happens every time.
But where did you get that idea from, that would have happened in this situation? It wasn't the same situation. It didn't happen. Where did you get the ideas that is true, what you're thinking?
Historical context. We just know that this would have happened.
But how do you know that? You don't know that. You don't know what will happen until it happens. Where did you get?
No, I know they would have been shot.
You
if they
saw
was dead.
two
I mean, if they was
kids from
black, they would have been dead
Mexico.
right now.
You saw 2 kids from Mexico allegedly with a gun and blah blah blah. The cops handled that situation. What made you go to? Well, if it was a black, it would have been different. What made you go to that?
Again, every case that we've seen like this.
Where did you get? What made you go to about if that happened to this person? If that happened, where'd you get? What made you go there? That's not the situation. That's not what happened. That's not now. Why would you go into that?
Well, I just answered it. I just answered it like all the time. I don't know, Jesse. I've seen it. We've seen it happen.
But that doesn't mean it's going to happen then. If it rained on Monday, that doesn't mean it's going to necessarily rain on Tuesday. Why not just live Tuesday and forget about Monday?
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It has everything to do with it. Because you went into your imagination and evil told you, oh, if that were black, those were black kids, it would not have been that way. It set you up for a fall. Why not see that situation and deal with that situation and not get into your imagination about what if? Why not live that way?
You know, and you make a good point, Jesse. And like I said, I didn't want to take too much of that.
What's the good point that was made?
That I should take each situation as it is individually. I shouldn't try to bring other things and just imagine things that haven't happened.
Yes.
But I would like to say...
No, don't do it, but because if...
No. I'm not butting what I just said. So I'm not butting that. I'm just saying I would like to compound and then just ask you a question. I mean, when we have situations, where it's, a black person says something about a white person and then everybody, they praise them. And then, but you go ahead and say, well, if a white person said this about a black person, it would be so much different. Why do you do that? But you're chastising me for what I'm doing now.
Because every day, white people are being punished for disagreeing with the blacks, and when every day the blacks are disagreeing and attacking the white, and nothing being done. That's reality.
Okay, so we're on the same page then. You agree with me?
That's your situation happened with those 2 boys. It's not happening to blacks at that time. It was happening with those 2 boys. But you're doing an if it was black. And I thought you understood. You didn't get the point.
No, I think you disagree
because
with
you
me.
went
You don't
right
say you
into
don't, but you do.
You
agree
went
with
right
me.
into darkness again.
No, I mean, I just don't think that you like me to call it out, but it's still the truth.
Call
but
what
I
out?
do want to just make my quick.
I don't like for you to call what out?
The hypocrisy.
How
I mean,
that
you do it all the time.
What was
hypocritical? But when I do it, it's an issue.
What was hypocritical about the way those cops dealt with that situation and that situation only? What was hypocritical about that?
No, I'm not saying the situation. I'm saying your assessment of what I'm saying is hypocritical. The fact that you can chastise me for what I said. Yeah, you do it.
What was hypocritical about the way those cops dealt with those boys?
I never said it was hypocritical. You said that. I didn't say that.
Jerome, can you hold?
Yes.
Let me take a quick break. I want to go quickly back to the busy phone. Jerome out of New Jersey. Jerome, thanks for holding. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I guess just recapping the point that I was making was that it's very hypocritical of you to speak to me the way that you're speaking to me when you do the same things that you accuse me of doing.
Like what, for example?
Again, like you don't like how I was saying, if these kids were black, it would have been dealt with differently. Like you said, why am I going into my imagination? Yet every day, I hear you say, well, you give an example of a black person doing something to a white person. And
every day.
If this was a white man, exactly. And I'm saying if this was a white man doing it to a black person, then the blacks would be going crazy and talking about white racism and white supremacy when that's not what happened. You do the exact same thing.
That is what happened, Jerome. It happens every day. We play videos nearly every day of that happening. When the last time you seen a police shoot at a young kids as young as those guys, 7 and 9 years old?
Jesse, you're agreeing with what I'm saying.
When is the last time? When the last time?
Tamir Rice was 12 years old, and he had a gun, and they pulled a gun on. Tamir Rice was 12 years old, and they shot him without even giving him a second to think about it.
I'm sorry, Jerome, you said who?
Tamir Rice.
Who is Tamir Rice?
He was a 12. You reported on him 1,000 times. He was a 12-year-old kid with the gun, and then the cop shot him.
How long ago was that? How long ago was that?
I don't remember.
You
don't
remember how long ago it was, but you remember that it happened.
Yeah, should I remember the exact date?
How about 2014, 10 years ago?
And what's your point?
Why? First of all, Tamir Wright wasn't 7. He wasn't 9. He looked like if I remember correctly, I don't even remember the whole story to be honest, but he wasn't some little kid-looking kid. He looked like a younger teenager. And according to the story, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. Hear me saying that. He was waving a gun in a park, and the people in the park thought it was real. It was a whole different story than these two little boys holding a gun behind a little dump truck or something like that. How are you comparing 10 years ago situation with right now?
Because it still holds weight, and I don't care what their ages were.
How is that?
It doesn't matter if they was young or old. But they have a gun and they can kill somebody.
You were giving the impression that the police is doing this to black kids all the time, and you're talking about a 10-year ago incident with a totally different guy, older than the guy, and that made sense for you to act like the police would do this to black kids. That made sense, right?
Yeah, and he had a BB gun too. It wasn't even a real gun.
Right, but the people didn't know that,
real
Jerome.
Gun that can kill somebody.
10 years ago, what made you think of that now?
It's a way to use it's a comparison.
There's no comparison. You had a 7-year-old, according to the story, and a 9-year-old. Tamir Wright was 12-year-old or something.
You're being willfully ignorant, Jesse, and it doesn't even make any sense at this point.
Tamir, I'm being told, Tamir Wright was 5'7", 175 pounds, with a men extra large jacket, size 36 pants, according to Brave AI. So how are you comparing a 30?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
How are you comparing a 10-year event with someone that was older? What made you think of that now? This is 2025.
That was just one example.
What other example have the police done that to black kids?
It's not about, it doesn't matter if they're a kid or they're an adult. They have a gun that can kill somebody.
We're talking about kids. It does matter. We're talking about a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old kid. That does make a difference. When the last time have you seen police do that to young black kids?
But if there was 9 or 19, they can kill somebody. They can take their life away.
That's not the situation, though.
They have a... Jesse, I don't even know what we're talking about.
Jerome, when the last time you saw police doing that to black kids, that went across your mind and you believed it? When the last time you've seen police treat 7- and 9-year-old black children in that in a different way?
I didn't make that point. You
said that if those were black children, the police would have dealt with it differently. You said that.
I said if those were black people. I didn't specify children.
But you're talking about those kids.
But I'm just
and then you brought up Tamir Wright 10 years ago, 5'7", 175 pounds. What the? And that makes sense to you.
Why are you talking about his age, size, and weight? What does that have to do with it?
Because you brought it up in a comparison.
But if you're comparing saying that he looks like a grown man, why can't I talk about actual grown people?
But because the situation was not about grown people, it was about little kids.
So then why are you talking about the fact that he looked grown? He was only 12 years old with a
fake
gun.
Because you brought up a 10-year
event. Had a real gun that could actually kill somebody.
You brought up a 10-year ago event, and there's no comparison at all. But you're trying to make it sound like there's a comparison. There's none. Thank you, Gerard. I appreciate you, buddy. Amazing. There is a spiritual order that God is not going to change just because you don't want to do it. You want to go your own way and do it your way, and it's not going to work. You can pretend that women were created to lead, but that doesn't mean it's going to work. You can put them in these positions, but it doesn't mean it's going to work. Look at our fights everywhere all the time now. Crime out of control. But you call the woman superwoman. Superwoman. Supermom. Whatever that's supposed to mean. It sounds good, but it ain't true. This is from News Channel 9. After a traffic stop for turning right on a red light in Dalton on Monday, a 19-year-old Dalton State College student is now facing possible deportation. Amazing. A police report shows her father was picked up in Turner Hill, Georgia, 2 weeks ago for going 19 miles over the speed limit. Watch this from News Channel 9.
Dalton police say they pulled over 19-year-old Jimena Arias Cristobal for making an improper turn at this traffic light, and they discovered she was driving without a proper license.
And then Monday when she was arrested, we were all just blindsided.
Just 2 weeks ago, Arias Cristobal's family tells us that they went through a similar situation with her father. They tell us that he was exceeding the speed limit here in Tunnel Hill, and when he got pulled over during a traffic stop. And during that traffic stop, he did not have a driver's license.
Don't mess with Georgia. Georgia on my mind. The family says they arrived in the country in 2010, but the father struggled to get a work visa. Watch this.
When my dad left, well, it was only her and my older sister to help out with the family, and now that they took her away, it's only her.
Arias Cristobal and her father are now both at the Stewart Detention Facility near Columbus. She and her parents came from Mexico City back in 2010.
They came as illegal people. They came like other people to make a better future for my little sister. For my older sister when she was 4. And they came in with no papers or anything to be here.
They tell us her dad tried to secure a work visa, but had difficulty.
My dad has his own company, and they called a lawyer to see if they could get a job permit or a visa, and they said that they hadn't hit that status to get one yet.
Arias Cristobal was 4 years old at the time. Her family says the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA program, stopped accepting new applications before she was eligible.
So send the girl back home. It's not like she's going to a new place, she's going home. You know what I mean? That's amazing that mother been here this long, she still doesn't speak English. According to the police report, the 19-year-old had an international license. A Georgia state representative shared a comment. Watch this.
Now, the police report says Arias Cristobal told them that she had an international license but didn't have it with her. Georgia Driver's Services say those are only valid for 30 days after moving to the U.S.
A Republican Georgia state rep from Dalton wrote a letter to the judge on Arias Cristobal's behalf and says his party's deportation conversation has been about hardened criminals. He goes on to say, quote, "Unfortunately, the people that are not hard criminals are getting caught up in the wash. It seems like we are much better at catching people that are committing misdemeanors than people who are actually a danger to society."
But they are criminals. They're here illegally. Illegally is criminal. It's a crime. What a rhino in Georgia. He should not be allowed to live in Georgia. Well, he should be allowed to live there, but not be a representative. Especially being a man. What a man doing being a liberal? A rhino. Last but not least, the police said They pulled over the wrong vehicle and are dropping the traffic charges. Watching from Fox 5 Atlanta.
Both charges against Miss Arias Cristobal were dismissed from the traffic stop.
This is dash camera video of the traffic stop May 5th. Dalton police initially said 19-year-old Jimena Arias Cristobal made an illegal right turn and was driving without a license, though she did have an international driver's license. Police now say the vehicle that made that improper turn wasn't even the vehicle she was driving.
Miss Arias Cristobal's vehicle was very similar in appearance to the offender vehicle. It is a situation where, as you can see, the wrong vehicle was stopped. And it is a very regrettable thing that, that is where this led.
But she's still illegal. You may have the wrong vehicle, but you still, according to the report, you have an illegal. Oops! She still got to go. She still got to, I don't know where she's going, but she got to leave here. It's Bible Thumper Thursday. And I'm always telling you, it's a spiritual battle, a warfare between good and evil. And all people who has anger is evil, because anger is evil. And you should never trust an angry person, because even if they're not saying it out loud, in their imagination, they are judging you. They are murderers and cannot be trusted. According to James 19:21, remember this, my dear brothers. Everyone should be quick to listen, but slow to speak, and slow to human anger. Quick to speak and slow to human anger, according to James. Verse 20, God saving justice is never served by human anger. God saving justice is never served by human anger. Human anger is evil. And I know y'all love to compare your anger to Jesus, but it's not the same. Your anger is that of Satan, right? 21. So do away with all impurities and remnants of evil. Do away with all impurities and remnants of evil. Humbly welcome the word which has been planted in you and can save your soul. Humbly welcome the word which has been planted in you and can save your soul. I've been trying to tell you. Y'all think the word is in the Bible. It's in the Bible. The Bible is the word of God. What's wrong with you? You don't read the Bible. I do read the Bible. I know that the truth is in me already. The Bible is the word from God, but the word of God is in you, as is the kingdom of heaven. As is everything that you're looking for is in the new world inside of you. Amazing, huh? It's in you, and you're looking everywhere but inside of you. Anger is evil. And once you clearly see that in you, you will overcome. And you will understand every human being on this planet. And it doesn't matter who they are, where they are, their positions in life. You're going to be able to see without even trying. And they're not going to know that you see that they're angry. They're going to put on a nice face. They're going to grin. They're going to pretend. But you see their anger even without trying to see it. And you will not resent them for it. You won't be angry back because you will understand it's not them. It's the spirit of evil that made a home in them, and they have identified with it. They've identified with it. They call anger themselves. Isn't that amazing? I have some amazing stuff coming up for you in a minute. I got to take a break. When I come back, you'll call. I'm telling you, anger. I mean, look like, and I understand that you're blind and can't see, but look like if you look at your own life, you will see that anger has never done you any good. You are a miserable person with anger. And yet you let some preacher or some so-called person with a degree, psychologist, psychiatrist, counselor tell you that anger is good. You just have to control it. Caleb, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Nice.
So I wanted to ask you
a
question about my relationship. I've been with my wife. Well, she's not my wife. I consider her my wife. We've been together for 12 years. We have 11-year-old twin boys. And I just wondered if you thought it was necessary for us to get married, legally married.
So you're living with her and everything?
Yeah, we've been living together for 12 years.
Why haven't you married her already?
She has like stage fright and she's very insecure, and her excuse is that she doesn't want to get up in front of people and do the whole thing. I've offered just to go to the courthouse and do all that and just get eloped or whatever. But we just haven't done it yet.
And why not? Why have you done that part? Because you don't have to be. You can go right downtown to the courthouse. You and the married person just stand there and get married without a crowd. You don't need a crowd. But it's better off with no crowd because it costs less. Why haven't you taken her down there and done it that way?
Honestly, I don't know yet. I guess probably I don't know, honestly. I will do that. I will try to do that this week or next week.
Why haven't you done that? I'm not telling you to do it. I want to know why haven't you done it? It sounds like that's what she's pretending to be all afraid. She doesn't want to be in front of folks. And you say, okay, we'll go down just one-on-one thing. Why haven't you done that, made that happen?
Because she has not been willing to go with me there yet.
And why are you with a woman that will not obey you?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I would say I love her, but I don't know.
You don't love her because if you love her, you will be able to guide her in a perfect way. You don't love her. You would call it that emotional love, but that's not love. Why haven't you done that?
That is really hard for me to answer that question. Simply because I have tried for years now. Like, I don't push it. I don't try to force it down her throat. I don't try to drag her out the house and force her into the courthouse to get married. I don't, I just kind of nudge her. I'm like, hey, we should really get married. Every once in a while, I kind of just encourage her, and she says, yeah, she says she's for it, but she doesn't get in the car and go with me. So
and why are you with a woman where you're passive and she's dominating?
See, I'm trying to become more dominating.
By doing what?
That. I am trying to work on myself. I do the silent prayer. I'm not consistent with it. I'm not going to lie to you about that. I'm not consistent with it. She's starting to watch you with me and kind of learning, but yeah, I understand completely what you're saying. She is leading. She has got control.
And you have boys, you say?
Yeah, they're identical twin boys.
And so your first kids were boys?
Yes, sir.
A real man made boys first, man. What the?
I heard you say that.
So why are you being passive in a relationship? Because by her dominating like that, she's destroying your sons. You are incapable of protecting your sons from this woman because you can't even, you're passive in the relationship. And she's dominating. And a dominating woman in the home and a passive man is an abomination against God. Why are you living that way?
You know, to be completely honest, Jesse, I actually thought that this is why I called you, because I thought I was doing better than I was, or better than I am right now. This is why I called and asked you about this, because I wanted to know if it was actually a big deal or not, and it is. I see that it is a big deal.
So you could see that you're being passive in this relationship, but you didn't think it was a big deal?
I mean, I didn't think I was being that passive, though.
A little passive is that passive.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. So as soon as you open that door to passiveness.
Passiveness. Right there.
Passive.
Right there. Am I right or wrong?
I don't know.
Let me ask a white man.
Passivity?
Yeah, passivity or something like that.
Passivity, yeah. Okay, so as soon as you crack that door, the woman's just going to kick it open every time.
Every time.
Okay, I got you.
Every time. And they work overtime day and night. Because a woman knows when a man is weak. Even when he says not weak, he try to pretend he's not weak. The woman knows he is. So when you are sleeping, she's figured out how to continue to deceive you and control you.
Okay.
To get it her way.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, our life is not, I would say, by no means our life is terrible. We have everything we need. God provides for us. We have, I wouldn't say we're wealthy, but, you know, we have enough money to put food on the table and survive. We do well, and our kids are, I'm so proud of my children. They're amazing.
How old are they?
11.
Oh, okay. What does it profit a man that he gain the world and lose his soul?
Repeat that?
What does it profit a person, man or woman, that he or she gain the world and lose their soul? You're losing your soul. You may be wealthy, you may have a job, a nice house, but you're a passive man. You're weak. Right. You're losing your soul.
Okay. And so, what is your recommendation?
That you continue to work on. You see it for yourself. That you're being passive with this woman. Okay. Continue to work on yourself, and notice those thoughts and emotions, and because in that point, at that time, you're putting what's right first. You're seeking the kingdom of God, and the Father will guide you through this situation. Whatever will happen, you'll be fine.
Okay.
You will see whether to stay or to go. And she will follow you as you're following what's right, or she will leave. And whatever happens, it'll be fine with you. If she leave, fine, goodbye. If she stays, fine, but she gotta, that would mean that she's working on herself, unless she's staying there to try to totally destroy you. But you need to just, since you don't know what to do, continue what you're doing, but work on overcoming your emotions, your thoughts and feelings.
Yeah. And I have noticed that. Because for a while there I was dealing with my anger and all of that, and then I found you and I let that go, and I was doing really solid for a while. And I had one day where I was just tired, exhausted, grumpy, and that anger kind of started to come through a little bit. And my wife got in my face, and she's like, "Oh, you're so holy, aren't you? You're holier than thou." And I was like, "Oh, boy, okay, so this is where we're at."
Yeah, she's judging you. She hates you already. And that evil spirit in her hates the fact that you are working on overcoming evil, so it's working through her to make sure you don't succeed at that.
Okay, yeah, I can see that 100%. I can definitely see that. that if I'm trying to stay on the right track and I'm doing somewhat good, they'll bring her down just to bring me completely down.
100%. That's why when you're married, you have to be married and you start to wake up while you're married. If both parties are not working on themselves, it's not going to work, because evil in the man or the woman that's not working on themselves going to hate the light in you, the good, and it will work overtime to deceive you and destroy you.
Okay.
And so next time, if she could bring out that anger in you, don't yell at her, don't argue with her, don't blame her. That you be glad to see the anger and just watch it, live with it, do nothing about it, and it'll be taken away from you.
Okay. Can I ask you one more quick question about the silent prayer?
Yes.
Does that have to be done morning and night, or because I'm terrible at waking up in the mornings as it is? So getting up and going to work, like should I get up and leave myself that time in the morning? Should I force myself to do that?
I would recommend you do. God said to seek Him early in the morning, right? But don't stress behind it though. When you wake up, let's say you wake up. What time you normally wake up?
I usually get up about 4:30.
In the morning or evening?
Morning.
Okay, so let's say you're going to wake up at 4:30, right? You wake up at 4:30. Practice waking up at 4:15.
Okay.
And just do it so you can look around you, wake up, look around the room, or go wash your face, and then just become aware of the stabbing. Because the moment you open your eyes, the stabbing start, meaning the thoughts and emotions starts, right? Kind of be aware of that. Be aware of that.
One thing I have noticed since I started working on myself is that I wake up multiple times throughout the night now. I used to never do that before.
Nice. Well, when you do wake up, don't make a big deal of that. Don't make sleep that important, and you'll fall back to sleep.
Yeah, I usually just get up and go get like a glass of water or something and go right back to bed. And
Absolutely.
I'm okay, but
yeah, don't make it a big deal at all.
Okay, now if I wake up in the morning and I'm driving to work and I just do it in silence and I use that time to connect with God, is there anything wrong with that?
No.
Okay.
You want to get to the point where you're connected to the Father 24 hours a day. So no, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you, Jesse.
But I really want to encourage you when you wake up at 4:30 or whatever, try to wake up at 4:15. At least have 5 or 10 minutes to do it.
Yes, sir. I will set my alarm 15 minutes earlier for the next couple of days and see how it goes.
Yeah, and then as far as your fiancée, if you don't know quite what to do right now, work on you, but watch the evil in her when she's sneaky, when she's been all because she's judging you, knowing that you're trying to work on yourself. You all holy, now you're mad. That's just evil in her. But you watch that, but don't be mad at her. That's in her. It has nothing to do with you, all right?
Okay, thank you so much.
I wish you well, man. Let me know how it goes.
All right, will do. Thank you.
And congratulations on making boys first.
Thank you very much, Jesse. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Bye.
All right, bye.
And you say?
Yeah, the blacks are obviously angry and they're out of control with that stuff. Obviously, you can just tell by their attitude and the way they go about speaking things. It's all from like a condescending place or like just this anger, and you can tell either they're overreacting or they're calm, but they have this nasty attitude about it. It's never like a proper just analysis of what's going on. So, but we already knew that as well. But as far as the 59 South Afrikaners coming to America, I think that it may be the right thing to do, maybe, but it's hypocritical for sure.
Yeah, meaning what?
That because what's happening is they're illegal. They're illegals, right? They're asylum seekers as well. So we're choosing to let them in, and like I said, it could be the right thing, and maybe they should be in because of what's going on. But there's a lot of other people that can say that they're in a similar situation in different countries and they're not being let in. So if we're gonna it just has to be fair across the board, and it comes off as hypocritical on Donald Trump's part.
Oh, I see. You're saying it's hypocritical for him to bring in the white refugees and
Right.
not let all those other people in
Right.
who said that they were refugees.
Or at least, because the argument's going to be at least the ones that, because obviously 1 million illegal aliens are not all in trouble. Millions of plus legal aliens at the door.
Yeah, but they ain't refugees.
But there's a small group that they're gonna probably push back on this to say like, hey, well, how come you didn't look at our situation and you just refused us? And I can understand that. So it just comes off as hypocritical.
And you say, Anchor Baby?
An
in response to the
amazing
video?
situation. It is revealing so much stuff that should already be seen, but in another way, it's like a mask off moment. Like it's just so evil the way they're acting, brazenly on camera. We're gonna find you. You guys are coming here for refuge. Too bad. We're gonna make your life hell.
One black guy said it was 8,000 of them.
Bigots.
It's
like he was being bigoted.
Bigots.
It was like 59. He's talking about 8,000, according to the report, 59.
It's
Go
like
ahead.
Maze called me my show, and the assumptions in the mind, it's crazy. She was saying these refugees, for example, she was saying that they were that place Orania. Remember you had that guest. He was the
Yeah.
CEO of that white-only town.
Right.
She was speculating that the reason that they didn't go there is because they're criminals, and they don't let criminals in Orania, so they're coming here. They're just criminals. It's just the speculation.
Oh, she speculated that the white refugees that came here were criminals?
Because she assumes that they wanted to go to Irania and they weren't let in because they're criminals.
She read all that.
Totally, yeah.
What? No.
Or it could also be an angle that Maze is doing in response to the way that we speak about the illegals being criminals. Because I remember Maze saying one time that she doesn't think that a lot of the illegals are criminals. So I think she's just using it.
Oh,
Well, it wasn't
back.
clever enough because
Right.
it was just blatantly saying that. And it's crazy. There's children among these people, right? So how long is apartheid going to be a thing you can punish people for?
Yeah.
So
Amazing. And so because of time, what do you think what Joel said about
I think
it's hypocritical that there are some other people from other countries who are refugees. Am I stating it right?
Yeah.
Who are refugees and our country don't want them in, but they'll let the white people come in.
Yeah.
Like that.
There's so much I want to say about this. It's so interesting. But on that, honestly, I'll just say it like this. I mean, there's no point on being fair across the board. Let's just be honest. Number one, it is a white country, and that is the argument. So let me just say that. That is the argument to be unfair, even in that way.
Because why though? Because they're white.
Yes, on simply that's an argument on its own on maintaining the white majority of this country. That's an argument on its own. There's other ones, but you don't need to be fair. The distinctions matter on who's coming over economically, what they can do, what they bring to a country, and how willing they are to be part of it.
But white is just the color of the skin. They're not Americans, right? So just because they're white, they can be coming over and not assimilating. They could be coming over bringing Africa stuff too. So
That's a fair question, and here's how I see it. Look, I remember first hearing you say, Jesse, years ago, if the white people left the banks and left everything to the black people, it would just be a ghetto in no time.
Right.
And honestly, sincerely, when I first heard you, I was like, okay, he's making a point. Oh, that's wild. That was what I really heard. That was what I sincerely thought. When I ask myself if there were no whites here or a white minority, Kamala Harris would be president.
Oh,
that's
man.
just
I tremble.
That's just the bottom line point, right? I don't see it deeper than that. And so when I look at it like that, I look at white people across the world sharing some sort of culture that clearly is working, that clearly will gel more here, for example.
And how do you respond to what Joel said? The unfairness that there are some other people who are refugees.
Yeah.
And Americans don't want them to come, but white people, they can come who claim to be refugees.
Obama, Biden, maybe Bush even, and the other Bush maybe too, and maybe Reagan, I don't know. For many generations, people have allowed in so-called refugees, and they bring them in not as illegals, because Joel said illegals, but they're not illegals. They bring them in as refugees, and
They call them asylum seekers, right?
No, illegals they call asylum seekers, because a lot of illegals present themselves and want to cry asylum and then call themselves refugees. But a lot of people are brought in as refugees, and they come in supposedly the right way, brought in by the government. And so this has been a ham-fisted by the thousands, not by 59 who are vetted in advance. So
You're saying that Obama did.
Obama and all these other presidents have been bringing in refugees like crazy. And they bring them in by the thousands, not 59 who are vetted in advance.
Well, I'm just speaking on Trump's administration. I'm speaking
Right. And so,
Trump has
this is a
denied-
response. This is in contrast to that. Trump is checking who these people are. He's making sure that they're going to be contributors. It's not simply because they're white. They've been vetted. They've been looked at. And it's 59. And he may bring in more. He may open it up. But it's not flooding them in, granting broad temporary protected status as refugees, like what Biden did of the Haitians. It's a completely different and better and right way of going about it.
But others may argue that they're also in the same position as the South African people.
No, but they're not. They're completely different people.
But this says who, though?
It says
their own rules.
Yeah, what Nick said is we're not just bringing in refugees only because we feel sorry for them.
No.
We're bringing refugees because they're contributors.
So there's not one other
we can look at those
like South African seeking asylum because of their government is corrupt and they're actually looking for help. There's not one other person out there from a different country?
Trump, I'm sure, will be looking at those in a fair way and in an orderly way. He's been knowing since this first administration the situation of the South Africans, that it's been dire and that it's been ignored. There are many places where all these other people can go and they don't have to come to America. And maybe down the road he takes a look and lets in some of these other POC so-called refugees, and some of them could be.
But the narrative,
because some of them could be legitimate, but everybody is welcoming all those refugees.
Yeah, you bring up.
I'm not defending anything. I'm not defending anybody.
I know you're calling it hypocritical,
but I'm just saying that, like, how come?
And you're calling them illegals out of ignorance.
No, it's not ignorance though, because
it is
because it's not fair across the board. Because right now we're like rooting for the South Africans.
Right.
Bring them all over here. Poor South Africans.
Because literally nobody was bringing them in.
The other ones were like, so-called refugees. So-called, but we don't know. We don't know.
Exactly. That's why we have to call them so-called. Because we don't know that they're really refugees.
Right. So then we get to side with the South Africans that deserve the asylum, but not the other ones, because we don't know nothing about
we can decide on those later, but you got to turn it around.
Yes, Nick?
And that's all well before color. You know, James brings up a very good distinction. The true hypocrisy that starts well before all that is the refugee status itself. If you just look at what the government currently calls asylum seekers refugee status, and you scrutinize who they're bringing over, the people that you might just assume, wow, they need help too, you would see that under the own like definitions of the U.S. They're not really asylum seekers. They should have been in a country, a different country as a refugee
neighboring
well
country
before coming here. So.
And you know what else is? They've been transforming the communities. Small communities, small, white, civilized, nice communities in America for like the worst. They've been bringing in all kinds of crime. You heard about the problems with the people driving crazy in that area in like Indiana or somewhere. And so it's been a problem for Americans, and Trump is turning it around.
And you say?
It just sounds like you guys are siding with the whites. That's just what it sounds like. When the white people that aren't from here, they don't qualify, because what have made America great is American culture whites, not South African culture whites.